One more thing I would like to add to this wonderful podcast. I think it's important. Let's offer promotion. Why not?
Like what, Javi? What are you
You know,
thinking?
you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that we offer for anyone who watched this podcast today, and you reference Absolute 911. That is Absolute 911. I gotta buy immediately. We're gonna offer a free appraisal. That means that your appraisal of $675 is free. We will cover that for you. What do you think about that, D?
That sounds amazing, Javi. So I would like to join you as well.
Okay.
Let me see. Let me think about something as well. What about if I can contribute toward their inspection?
Wow.
I will cover the inspection.
Wow,
I
that's
will pay
over
for the inspection.
$1,000 in credits.
I will cover that for my client. Whoever call and would like to, do business with Javier in Fiesta or D Rivas. Also, you can find me as the Rivas Group. We are here to contribute toward your, buying a house.
Fantastic.
So
So
your
our promotion,
purchase, your purchase.
our team promotion, Absolute 911, will get you up to almost $1,000 in rebates if you buy now. Remember, 911, Absolute 911. D, again, thank you for being here at the podcast today.
Thank you for
it's
having me.
so
Javier.
great working with you.
It was an honor to share
and
with
may
the podcast with you.
2026 be an awesome year for you and your family.
Thank you. Same to you and to all the audience that is watching us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'd like to introduce everybody. Well, first I want to thank everybody. Well, thank D for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Javi.
Another broadcast of our podcast here at Absolute Home Mortgage. And very important for us to know that you're here today and share who Delenia Rivas is.
Well, Delenia Rivas, also known as the Rivas Group, right? Because I have a team under the umbrella of Remax Prestige. In a personal note, I'm a mother of 3, a grandmother of 4 already, Javi, believe it or not. Thank you very much.
You look good for your age, by the way.
Time flies. Thank you. Thank you. I take the compliment.
Awesome. And what areas do you serve, D?
I serve basically all Florida, starting from Orlando down, I would say.
Okay.
All South Florida
And how long have you been in the real estate market, if you'd like to share with everybody?
for a decade now.
10 years. Oh, okay.
It's going to be 12 years in November.
12 years in November. Fantastic.
I started in 2014.
And what brought you into this industry?
I love helping people. I'm a people person. I enjoy helping people achieve their goals and their dreams.
Okay. And what do you enjoy most about being a realtor?
Oh my God, I enjoy a lot. I mean, I enjoy being able to get my client the perfect home, right? The perfect home that they are looking for, but most of all, getting them the perfect price and the best negotiation possible. I always try to get them as much as I can when it comes to closing costs or to help them with the down payment or closing costs.
Okay. Fantastic. And how would you describe the real estate market right now in this area? What would you say?
I would say that it's stable. People still a little afraid. Buyers still a little afraid in buying right now because of the interest rate. But Javi, what they fail to realize is that the more they wait, the more they're going to pay for the house. Because if the interest rate goes down, the prices of the house goes up. Like back in 2021, when there was one house that everybody wants, like there was a line when there was an open house, families that want the same house. And at that point, if we have a multiple offer situation, then if that buyer really wants that house, they're going to have to come up out of pocket and offer more than the asking price.
Absolutely. And the one thing I do know about you is you're a top producer. You're a great realtor. It's an honor for me to work with you. And one thing that the product or one thing that the public needs to know about is what has been the biggest challenge for buyers, in your opinion?
The biggest challenge, I believe, is the interest rate.
Okay.
And they also feel that the prices of the house still a little bit high.
Okay. And on that topic, what are some of the mistakes you see that first-time home buyers are making?
The mistake that I feel home buyers are making right now is that they want to wait. And that can backfire them because the more they wait, the less chances that they're going to get a good deal, that a realtor is going to negotiate a good deal for them. This is the time now, Javi, because there's not a lot of competition out there. And because there's not a lot of competition, there's not so much buyers out there trying to get the same house. I'm able to negotiate a better deal for my clients.
Absolutely. And on topic, something that the public needs to know is the longer you wait, the more it's going to cost in the end.
Correct.
Interest rates are only temporary, right? And this is where I
Correct.
throw my 2 cents in. Interest rate something that we can refinance a customer later on. So what matters is how much money are you bringing to the table today, right?
Yes.
So where we focus on the clients is when you're buying your home, it's a lot better to come, let's just say on a house that's $400,000. If I buy that house today with $30,000, it's a lot better than I'm paying, say, 50 for that same house. Why?
Correct.
Because today you may buy it with $30,000 total or even less if you negotiate closing costs and everything else, probably get it for 10. The issue is that if you wait, now you're paying asking price above. You have to compete. The
Correct.
competition is a key word there. What they don't
Yes.
realize is competition means that you're paying above asking price.
Correct.
Now it's going to be more money out of pocket. So and that's what
100%.
the consumers are not understanding.
Correct.
And your opinion is that we will be there eventually.
Exactly. I suggest, and that's what I tell my buyers right now, try to buy now. Do not wait. And the reason is because the more you wait, and let's say interest rate go down, let's say in the next 6 months, 6 to 12 months, what you think is going to happen? Now we're going to have more people on the market looking. Now buyers are going to have to come out of pocket because if they really fall in love with a house and we have, let's say, 5, 7 offers on the table, now what the seller's going to do? The seller's going to pick the best offer. So if you submit an offer with 20,000 above asking, and I submit just a full price offer, they're going to go with yours. So now we have like what they call it a war, a war,
Right.
right?
Between buyers.
Yeah.
And talking on that subject real quick, what is your opinion on what's happening with the values? A lot of customers are saying, well, or excuse me, the buyers are saying, wait a minute, are the values going down? They think that's the case. What is your opinion on that? Is it really, truly the buyers right? Or is the values going down? What's going on in the market, in your
I
opinion?
don't think the values are going down at all. I think the prices, they are stabilized right now. They are stable. There's some price reductions on the market, and you see a lot of them lately. But the reason why is not because the houses are losing value. What happened is that the sellers right now are desperate to sell. Most of them, they said, instead of making $100,000 for my pocket, you know what? I'm going to take 80, but let me sell this property as soon as I can.
Got it. So, in your opinion, that we're not seeing a market of declining prices. We're just seeing that the sellers will be a little more aggressive
Correct.
and bringing down what their asking price was down, but the values
Correct.
aren't going down.
But the value is still the same.
Same. Yep. And actually, just to add to that, in a conversation I had with an appraiser a couple of weeks ago, was that in Miami and Dade County property appraisers meetings, they saw that for the first time in 12 months that values were appreciating, values actually going up
Awesome.
across the board. So that's something that I would like to share with the public, that in actuality, you're correct. What the actual property appraiser's office is saying, that they're seeing now values are going up. So that's in Dade County. I'm sure it's also going to follow suit down here as well, or up here, I should say. Um, what do you value most in a lender you choose to work with? It's a good question.
Well, I chose you
That's why I asked
for
the
more than a
question.
decade. It's going to be 12 years that we've been working together. And what I like the most about, the relationship between the lender and the realtor is that the lender uh, is always available when we need you, especially sometimes on the weekend. We can get a buyer, and if we don't have a lender that we have a good relationship with and we work as a team, and I need a pre-approval on the weekend because I need to submit the offer right in there, and you don't answer the phone, I might, my client might lose the opportunity of getting that specific home. But the good thing about you is that you always available 24/7. Even if you don't answer my call sometimes because you're busy and we have to understand, I'm not your only realtor that you work with, but you always send a message or return the call later, or you tell your assistant, please return the call to Dee and see what is it that she needs. So we always in constant communication, which I love the most.
I appreciate that. And I will tell you, and vice versa, I would say that working with you has always been a pleasure because you always, always value the buyer at the end of the day. You make sure that they get the best deal. So
Correct.
you're always looking to say, listen, what can we do? What program is available? Always looking what is the best interest of the buyers
A
when it comes to
hundred percent.
financing. And that's important. That's how we work well with the team because you know what? We're always looking for their best interest, obviously, you know?
A hundred
And
percent.
obviously interest rate to closing costs to everything that's available to them in different programs. We look for ways to
To
be able
help
to,
them.
to help them. And
Correct.
sometimes it could be the best deal for them where they're getting more closing costs or et cetera, whatever it is. But we're always looking for every avenue, which is
Correct.
great.
100%.
Um, let's talk about a little bit about personal brand, your growth as a realtor. Um, how, and this is a very important question. How do you build trust with your clients? What is a key thing for you, and how do you build trust with them?
Transparency. I like to be 100% transparent with my client. Honest. I believe that when you show your value and you show confidence when you talk to the buyer, they immediately gonna believe in you. And one thing that I don't forget, Javi, is to remain humble, kind, generous, honest. And most of all, I always keep a very positive mindset. So I always, you know, after let's say we do the closing, I don't see my client as a one time deal. I see my client as a long term relationship. So I usually communicate with my client for their birthdays, if I had to send them a card, flowers. I always keep in communication with my clients. So they become my friends, most of them, and most of them part of the family, to be honest. The
That's
majority.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, it's one thing that our buyers, our clients, we work with them. We help them achieve their biggest dream, and it's obviously
Correct.
home ownership. And it's something that's important that we always don't look at them as a number. We look at them as a obviously as a person who needs our services. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure they're happy, that they achieve their dreams in the best way possible, the best deal, best financing terms, best everything. And obviously, that's an important thing.
100%. It's very fulfilled. It's very for me. It's fulfilled me that when I call that buyer and I tell them your offer has been accepted, congratulations, and you could see how happy they get, or if they say, "Hey, D, let's submit this offer for this price," but at the same time, I tell them, "Why don't we go a little bit lower in case we get a counter offer?" So when I tell them, "Hey, listen, I got it," they like, "What? You did?" You know, it happened in so many occasions where they said to me, "Now I'm taking you out to eat." Because I usually tell my clients, after we close, I'm going to treat you for lunch or dinner or breakfast if it's in the morning. And they sometimes tell me, no, now I feel that I owe you
That's
because of
awesome.
the good deal that you were able to get for me.
I always make this joke that the consumers or the buyers they always love me. They're always happy when I get the loan done for them, but they don't like me when their first payment's due. Right? That's a joke I always make. They bring me drinks, they'll bring me alcohol. Well, I'm like, I don't drink alcohol like that, but they always bring me alcohol beverages from different countries
Yes,
or whatever.
yes, yes.
I always laugh, but they love me until the first
Up
payment.
to the
Right?
first payment. But you
So,
said, that's not my fault.
but it's not my fault, right? It's not my fault. I wish I could make it a free payment, but it doesn't work that
Correct.
way. What strategies have worked best for you in generating consistent business? Because I know you do really well, Dee. So that's one secret that I think is important for you, even the public to know. How is it that you generate business?
I'm a firm believer of a long term relationship. I get a lot of referrals. I also get repeat clients,
Okay.
a lot of them. Whoever make business with me, you can assure that they're going to come back. They always call
It's
me
true.
either I'm going to sell my property. Can you get me something bigger, something smaller? I want to
Right.
upgrade. I want to get something 55 plus. I don't need all this space anymore. Um, so they always constantly come back to me. But I believe that my honesty, my transparency, and all the explanation that I give to them, that I take time to listen more than talk. And that's something that I learned, that you have to listen more than what you talk. You have to listen to your client. What are their needs and wants? What is it really that they desire so you can accomplish their dream?
I can attest to that. That with all the realtors I work with, one thing I do notice with you is a lot of customers do come back. They don't buy just one property; they buy
They do.
multiple properties.
They do.
It reminds me of the doctor that we work with. He bought what, 6 properties with you now.
Yes.
So it's that's says a lot about you. You know, the trust factor, how you build the trust with the buyers and the clients. That is true. You know, they do
Ye-
come back to you. The
They do.
biggest thank you that I've felt in this business, besides they bringing me a bottle of alcohol, which
No
I joke about,
champagne.
champagne, whatever, right? Is I've been fortunate to work in this business so many years that when I see that the families I helped in 2002, now their children are calling me to buy. That's
Correct.
been the biggest compliment for me, right? It's,
It happened to me as well.
that's awesome.
And they refer me. And I have a family who they sold with me, purchased with me. The son bought with me. He sold with me and bought me with me. I mean, everything, the
That's
whole
awesome.
family. Like this client that you just gave me the pre-approval today, actually, right now in the office. That client, I met him at an open house. The property was my listing, and I met him there. He wanted to, he wanted to buy the property, but he was retired. And he said, "Hey, D, I really love the property. How I'm going to be able to buy it because I need to sell mine first, but I'm afraid that I might lose this property by the time that I sell mine." And I told him, let's sit down. I sat them down on the kitchen table and I said, let's work some numbers. I know some hard money lender that can lend you that money until we sell your house. He go, really? You can do that? I said, of course. I was able to get the hard money lender for him, the person that I personally know. He only borrowed that money like for 3 to 4 months, and I was able to sell his property. So that same client already have done like 5 deals with me, and he just called you today because you're gonna do another one. So that's gonna be number 6.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And thank you, by the way. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Looking ahead, how do you see the market evolving over the next 6 to 12 months? In your opinion, that's a really good question.
I see a lot of technology going on right now. AI, for example, is changing a lot of things right now. ChatGPT. So technology is being introduced to us to make our life easier, but at the same time, we have to be careful with that, right? Because you're always
Definitely.
going to need an expert to
100%.
guide you through the
100%.
process.
Of course.
You can ask ChatGPT anything about real estate, but ChatGPT doesn't have any feelings, right? We have feelings. We can feel for
Yep.
our clients.
Yep.
We listen to their needs and to their desire, and that's how we, you know, determine what is the best deal possible that we can work on with that client.
I'm going to talk about that a little bit real quick. AI is good for our business, ChatGPT, for things to ask quick questions and whatnot. But the one thing that will never, and I believe this, change is the personable relationship. One, two is the personable situation where I'm creating, crossing my T's, dotting my I's, and putting a deal together. So let me give you an example. I remember back in 1999, a company came out called Mortgage.com. It was the first internet company that said, we don't need loan officers, for example. Everything will be automated. It'll just, you go online, you apply, and we don't need loan officers.
You
What
could do
happened?
yourself.
You can do it yourself. What happened to that company? Went out of business within a year. Okay. Because there's an art to structuring a loan. What
Right.
we do as lenders, it's an art to it. It really is. What separates me, what separates my competition is the art of knowing how to put deals together, how to look at it. For example, you saw it this morning live, how one of my assistants, was struggling how to put this, customer together. And within seconds, I was like, well, let's do this. Boom, 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 and we got it done,
Correct.
right?
You have
That's,
options.
we have options, but it's the eyes, right? It's knowing how to create the structure of the loan. That's something that's important. So even give you another example of that at Rocket.com, Rocket Mortgage, right? Rocket.
Yes.
Everybody was going online for Rocket. Guess what? They're at an 89% decline rate. They decline a lot
Unbelievable.
of people. Why? Because at the end of the day, it takes the person, a human being, to look at the documents, to look at the customer and say, okay, this is okay, maybe this is a bad situation, or this needs this, or whatever. and putting it
and adjust the
adjusting
numbers.
right a puzzle, right? Putting a puzzle together.
Exactly.
No robot can put a puzzle together like a human can at the end of the day, right? And that's pretty much what we're doing. We're piecing together the art, what I call the art of structuring a
Exactly.
deal. That's a very important thing.
And even when a client doesn't qualify, you always try to find a way of working the deal with that client. Let's say the client, for example, need to pay some credit cards, right? I don't think AI is going to tell a client, hey,
Nope.
listen, you have to pay your
Nope.
credit card in order for
Exactly.
you to increase your credit score,
Correct.
or you have too much debt. It's not going to say that. You, the expert,
Right.
you look at all the documentation that they submitted,
Yep.
and you determine what that client has to do in order to qualify.
Absolutely.
And that's why we have you as the advisor and basically everything. You tell us, you're the advisor, you're the friend, you everything, right, to the client. So you tell the client, hey, listen, in order for you to qualify, we're gonna have to make some adjustment here.
Right.
We're gonna have to either pay this credit card and bring down, all this debt in order for you to qualify.
And that's a one thing about us here at our company, that the experience that we have, the options and the systems that we have here, that I'm able to, when I'm looking at a customer's credit report, it tells me immediately when I run it, because we run what's called a soft pull most of the time.
Correct.
And when I pull, it tells me this client today may have a 612 credit score. However, if he pays off, you know how many times I've seen it where if he pays off this $300 Capital One credit card, his scores goes from 612 to 690. And it makes a huge difference, right? All of a sudden now he's buying a home, but not only is he buying a home, but they're also now getting a good interest rate as well, because obviously interest rates are based on credit.
Credit.
Credit score is important. So we're able to help the consumer and do all that within 5 days. It's not they have to do it and we have to wait 3 months or 4 months. No, they do it. We show proof. We do what's called the rescore, and in 5 days we get the new credit score. We were able to save a lot of deals that way, but more importantly, be able to help the consumers, obtain their home, their dream home, and
Correct.
also obtain a good interest rate as well by providing solutions. And the key here is, as you as a realtor, makes you special and makes us special, is being able to provide those solutions to the consumer.
Exactly, exactly. And the same thing when they have student loans or they owe taxes. You tell them, hey, listen, just go ahead, go to the IRS or call them and just do a payment plan with them. The same thing with the student loans. So you give a solution to the client. You
Absolutely.
not you don't tell them, oh, you're not going to be able to.
Right.
If you do X and Y, then we're going to be able to accomplish your dream.
And that's the reason why AI will never,
Never,
ever,
ever
ever,
be able
ever
to do
be
that.
able to do that. Right? Facts. Okay.
Correct.
So
A hundred percent.
I'll gamble anybody about that. And that's one. And going back to the market real quick, I want to just throw my opinion real quick, and I've shared it before. I want to share it with your clients as well. Is that the market's going to change here really, really soon. I believe that by May, June, the latest, the next Fed meeting, once they change the Fed chairman, rates are going to drop. And when those rates drop, it's going to change the market.
Definitely.
And what's going to happen is we're going to go, and I really believe, I should say the word, that we're going to see this change so fast and so quick that in one day, 2 days, it's going to become a seller's market. And when it's a seller's market, it goes back to what you said previously, that all of a sudden now it's multiple offers, more competition, etc. Keep in mind also what's going to happen is that we're seeing a migration of people coming here from New York again.
Yes.
I'm seeing it live. I saw a gentleman buy in a community here called Arden. He bought 12 properties cash as an investment from New York. So we're going to start seeing more and more of that. And that's something that the consumers need to understand, the buyers need to understand, that there's no such thing as a bad time. It's more about when is it a good time to buy? And the answer is yesterday. I love that. Heard the other day was that yesterday the best time to buy,
Yes.
and it really
Yes.
is. You know,
It is.
what trends do you think will have the biggest impact on real estate?
I believe that we're going to see a lot of people relocating
Okay. Yep.
from New York,
Mhm.
Texas, California, Illinois, because Florida became like the number two, right,
Mhm.
state of people moving to. So we are one of the second one that people are relocating to.
No doubt.
Yeah, from everywhere.
And is weather
And
obviously the big thing.
yes, it has to do with climate. It has to
Yep.
do with also taxes.
Yep.
Remember, tax benefits, retiree, and so many more.
Speaking of tax benefits, is just again, I want to remind the consumer, the buyers out there, and everybody who watches our podcast, remind them that come this November, we have a huge election, a huge situation where we need everybody to vote on homestead properties, right? I tell everybody I know that when you are voting for homestead properties to no longer be taxed to the buyers or the homeowners, we want that to be a absolute yes. We do not. We want homestead properties to be tax free. I think it's something that our Governor DeSantis is putting in place. I think it's phenomenal. I think it's great for us. Why? Because it's going to help so many more consumers and buyers purchase homes. But more importantly, is what people don't know is I hear this all the time. By the way, just throw it out there real quick. I hear all the time. Well, how are we going to pay for it? It's a funny one. How's it going to be paid for? If we do that, well, buyers and consumers of the world, guess what? The majority of properties today are owned by investors, not primary buyers.
Correct.
So the investment properties will continue to pay the taxes. I believe last time I checked was like 67% of the properties in Florida are owned by investors and not your primary residents. So that's something that it's huge to know so that people know that.
To add to it, Javi, that's another important reason why buyers shouldn't be afraid to buy now. Why? Even though if the interest rate is a little bit high right now, but imagine if the taxes, you can take the taxes away from the
Yeah,
mortgage. Can you imagine how low the mortgage now is going to be? If you're paying
absolutely.
3,800, now you're going to drop at least $500 a
Or more,
month
or
or
more,
more.
or more.
So get the house that you like now at a really good affordable price and with a good negotiation. And if we are lucky and we get interest rate down, to come down, then you can always refinance.
Let me give you a better one. So a buyer today makes an offer on a property for $500,000, let's just say. Okay. That $500,000 property, the mortgage payment on that house is going to be, say, $4,000 a month with tax insurance and everything. And they're only putting 3% down. That property in a year, okay, not only if the obviously if the vote passes, the payment's going to drop from 4,000 to 3,300 just because the taxes are being removed.
Correct.
But then the rates just dropped, right? Now they're going to save an additional $300 a month or
Or
$400 a
$400.
month.
It happened to
Now
me.
that payment is no longer $4,000 a month. Now payment is now $3,000 a month. And they
Exactly.
bought that house with just a 3.5% down because you were able to negotiate the closing costs.
Correct.
So 3.5%, I can't do the math in my head right now. 500,000, call it 15 grand. So $50,000 down payment total, they bought that house. Where
Correct.
if they wait to buy that property and they bought that property in 6 months from now there's competition. Now that property is going to cost them $50,000 to buy it. It's a big, big difference. And that's why it's important that the consumers today know the time to buy was
Yesterday.
yesterday.
And another important point is that since Florida is a number two in people relocating, and all these people are coming from New York. I'm from New
Yes.
York myself. I was raised in New York. So I know the prices over there. And you can get easily 1 mil plus for any house that you sell over there. So if one of those people relocate to Florida
Yeah,
and there is a house for, let's say, 700,000, that's nothing for them.
correct.
They just sold
Correct.
their home for 1 million plus or 2 or 3 million. So they're gonna come, and if it's on the market for, let's say, 799, they go, you know what? I'm gonna go 50,000 above asking. Who's gonna get that house? The person from New York. So that's
For
why
sure.
we have to make sure that we buy as soon as possible, get the house that you really like, get into it, don't be afraid, and just wait for the interest rate to drop, refinance the house, and hopefully the taxes are going to come out of your mortgage, and
It's
it's
a
a
win-win.
win-win. It's
It's
a
a
win-win
win-win.
for everybody.
Absolutely. What people don't realize is, and something we don't talk about enough of, is that because of COVID era, so many jobs have become, work at home, right? So
Correct.
many jobs. What I'm seeing now more than ever is the people who are moving here from New York is that they're not coming here with no job like 10 years ago and starting over. No, they're coming here with the same job, making the same income in New York, and they're transferring here and working from home and making that big salary that they were making over there. So
Correct.
that's something that people don't understand. It's happening, and it's a big, big another situation where we're adding the fact that more people are going to want to move here once those taxes are removed. Because when that happens, I think we're going to see
100%.
more people coming here going, you know what? I've been waiting to move to Florida because everybody wants to move here, by the way. Everybody I talk to in New York, everybody wants to be here. People I work with tell me, I want to live there.
Exactly.
Everybody does. But they don't for many reasons, the kids or the schooling or whatever. So now, if we remove property taxes, they're going to be like, wait a minute,
Imagine.
that could be the
And
next
they
thing.
saving on the state taxes as well because we only pay city taxes. In New
Correct.
York, you have to pay city taxes and state
Correct,
taxes.
correct. And we're seeing not just New Yorkers, we're seeing now people from Boston, Massachusetts. I'm seeing more and more people from Pennsylvania, more from New Jersey, all this Michigan. I'm seeing it
Yes,
from everywhere
yes,
coming here
yes.
now,
I have
because
some
they,
Michigan. I have a few Michigan
yeah. So,
clients
and then
right now.
it's the cold weather, but huge. And what's so important is that once I really believe those taxes are going to pass. And if that passes, it's going to be a migration here like we've never seen. And that's why it's important that people take advantage of that and buy today. Or yesterday was the answer.
Yesterday.
Yesterday was the answer, right? So, but that's something that's big.
100%.
To close out here, why should people call you and why they should call me? What is your biggest opinion on that?
I think as a team, we work perfectly. We are actually lender to realtor in the sense that we help each other. In many occasions, you and me, we're going through a situation with some buyers, and I tell you, and you tell me, hey, D, or I tell you, hey, Javi, let's brainstorm, right? Let's brainstorm. Let's find a solution here together. And you and me together, most of the time, we find a solution. We work things out. And that's what I think is important to have a really good relationship with your lender and work hand in hand. And another note, another thing that many realtor fails to realize is that we cannot give you all the responsibility once the offer had been accepted. It's like, oh, I'm done. Now it's the lender turn. I did my job. It doesn't work that way. You have to keep in constant communication with the lender, make sure everything is going smoothly, right? Make sure that everything is fine. And on top of that, what I make sure to help you and me and the buyer is to make sure to tell them the do's and don'ts, right? Why? You might tell that buyer the date that you gave them the pre-approval, hey, listen, please don't make a large deposit. Don't take a big amount out of your bank account, or don't go and buy your furniture, right? For your new home. I know you're excited, but don't do that. Sometimes you tell them that, but they tend to forget. So it's
100%.
my responsibility as their agent to keep reminding them not to do the wrong thing. While you in this process, do not touch your bank account, like you said. Just let the direct deposit come in. Just don't deposit anything in big amount in your account or take big amount out of your account, and wait for those credit cards that sometimes you receive those offers on the mail, right? And they might go and say, oh, I'm going to get this credit card. So when I close my home, I'm going to go and furnish my place, right? Or they make a mistake also in buying a car.
Yes.
So sometimes I hear them say, oh, you know what? I'm going to go car shopping. I go, excuse me, you're going to go car shopping? You're going to kill your deal. Right? So as an agent, I have to constantly be paying attention to what my clients are doing and keep reminding them what to do and what not to do.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to look at the camera and tell everybody this is why she's a top producer. We send out emails. I tell them when I pre-approve them, I remind them all those things you just said. We even send out emails to remind them, don't do this, the do's and don'ts. And can you believe they still do things like buy a car? Happened the other day. The consumer, 3 days before closing, okay, and the consumers don't know, and consumers, buyers, we always have to, within a certain amount of days, usually about 5 days between closing, we have to do what's called a refresh report to confirm there's no new debts that were added at the time we're processing the file, because obviously it takes, a couple of weeks to close a file, and the average 30 days to close. So we're always going to pull that refresh. And when we pull that refresh and it pops up, a new car loan for $1,100 a month, we were pretty surprised, and unfortunately, it killed the deal. And what happens when that? What happens there? The consumer loses deposit because now the
100%.
deposit's gone, and that's just something that it's not the fault of the realtor or us. They did something not supposed to do, and at the end of the day, what really sucks is that they blame us that they went and bought a car. So that's why it's important that we tell them, the realtor tells them, we're looking out for their best interests.
Keep an
and make sure.
ongoing communication with
Absolutely.
the buyer all times, all times. And another thing is that I know you remember the buyers as well is do not quit your job. So now I'm
We have
buying the
one of those too.
house and the closing is in 10 days. You know what? I'm quitting. I already bought my home. Hey, you haven't closed yet.
Yep.
So if we haven't closed on the deal, do not do anything that you're not supposed to. I remember that you tell them, hey, listen, you want to quit your job the next day? Go ahead and do it. Not while we are
So,
working on your
I don't remember.
transaction.
I don't remember ever saying that, but okay. But definitely, it's important that nothing changes, right? The key here is
Correct.
the change, and that's something that the consumers they forget, like anything
They
else.
excited,
They're
they
excited.
nervous.
What's the one thing everybody does? Normal, right?
It's normal.
I buy my new house. I need new furniture. They
Yes.
go to Rooms to Go, and Rooms to Go has this beautiful offer of. I saw it yesterday. Actually, I got one yesterday in the mail. It says you have a credit card with City Furniture up to $6,000 with 3 years interest free this weekend. I went, wow! I'm going shopping this weekend,
And
right?
what about
Zero
Home
interest,
Depot?
right?
What about Lowe's? Oh my God, I want to change my kitchen. You know what? Let me go ahead and buy it ahead of time. So when I close on my house,
Right.
I already have those things there.
Right. And all
Big
of a sudden,
mistake.
Big mistake. Because all of a sudden now I went to City Furniture and I bought the furniture. And let's say my closing is February 28th. And I bought it today or this weekend. And all of a sudden, the lender, being us, pulls the refresh and it pops up that
Kills the deal.
I just took out $6,000 on a credit card for my furniture for my house. But everybody wants that new furniture. Here's the funny part. Once they buy that new furniture, they look at the driveway and they go, wait a minute. I had this beautiful new house with an old car. I need a new car to go in the driveway of that new house. Then after that, they go, wait a minute. I need a jet ski, right? For the weekends, right? A jet
Correct.
ski for the backyard, right? You'd be surprised at things that I see all the time. But yes, it's very important that consumers know and have a realtor like yourself that tells them
Exactly.
and protects them.
To guide them, to keep reminding them, the do's and don'ts, and make sure that you take them to the closing table. That's our goal here. It's a win-win situation for everybody.
Agreed. And one thing I do want to add real quick is something that's lost. Like we said, there's an art for the financing part for me. I think there's an art for the realtors. What is the art for you? And that is that I look at you guys as a personal attorney for the buyers. You are their personal attorney that they don't even pay for. It's funny because the sellers are the one basically paying your commissions. So they're getting a free attorney to represent them in every aspect of the contract. It's a legal contract,
Yes.
right? That you're reviewing that for them, making sure that everything is up and up, I should say.
Yes.
You're also making sure that when they do sign that contract and they go do the inspection, you're making sure that the inspection gets done properly. What's wrong with that house? It's like so many things in a process as a personal attorney, is call it, right? That's what you really are at that point, right?
Exactly. And in the inspection, that's the opportunity for us realtors to see what's wrong with the house and see if this house is really suitable for my client, right? And at the same time, what is wrong with the house that I can ask for an additional credit? So
Exactly.
I might got you a really good deal
Right.
plus closing costs, and now I'm going to ask for a seller concession.
Additional monies for something that comes out of the
They're going to
inspection.
come a little
Right.
bit out of pocket.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Well, Dee, it's been such a great podcast here today with you. Thank you for coming. I know you're busy.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate.
Likewise.
I appreciate you.
We're
Okay.
both busy.
And 2026, let's see some great, more buyers and more closings and
Let's help more families
absolutely. I
and more
appreciate you.
investors.
Absolutely. Listen, thank you very much to all being here today. We'll see you soon at the next Absolute Podcast.